Hello. Hey guys. Hey Frederick. Hey Daniel. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you guys being here. Hey Throndix.
Hello.
Thanks for jumping in.
Hey guys.
Can you guys hear me okay? Let me just have a look. Some music on in the background. Oops. There you go. Nice. And Skeleton Dude as well. Hey, Skeleton Dude. Cool, we've got a few people in already. Thanks for jumping in, guys. Good to see you all. How are you guys doing tonight? Hey, Daniel. Hey, Throndix, Frederick, Skeleton Dude. All good here. Been working on a little bit of art this week. Sat down 1 minute later. I tried to be on time. I was trying to set everything up, make sure everything was good. The echo has invited itself. It seems to be gone. Oh, it was probably because I had, I've got the live stream in the background just to make sure everything's working, and I had the audio on, so that's probably why. Chris, hello. Thanks for jumping in. Frederick just got home. Where have you been? School or something? Right, let's get into some drawing. Yeah, I'll show you guys what I've been working on. Chris watching while working. Nice. What are you doing for work, Chris? What are you doing at the moment? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was 1 minute late, not you. Oh, I see. I think I was a minute late as well. That's fine. Right, I'll show you guys what I've been working on today, this week. So we're setting up the video for the Halloween collab. So my plan is to do a few little videos for the. Is that working? Oh my! 1 second. My little badger's not working. It's not working. Which microphone? He's on the wrong microphone. There we go. Testing. Hello. There we go. Okay, my badger's working now. That's fine. Very important. Where is it? And save. Okay. Cool. Right. All done. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so just setting up my badger. So yeah, working on some images for the collab today. So I would not be surprised if you're 1 minute late. I'm not always the most skilled person to be on time, I guess. Saturn's already #1. He's too powerful. He is. He's got special YouTube powers. Chris feeding the hungry masses pizza. I'm jealous. Just had dinner, but I would not mind a pizza, to be honest. Frederick, I was in an animation processes exhibition. My legs are kind of dead. Oh, I'm jealous. That sounds cool. Animation. What kind of animation? Robbie, first time being able to join the stream. Won't be able to stay long, but I hope it goes well. Thanks, mate. Appreciate you being here and dropping in. Good to see you here. Chris just became one of my favorite people. So yeah, today we're working on some images for the Halloween collab. Oh, we've got Riffy over on Twitch as well. Good to have you here. Oh, Kick keeps sharing all these spam messages. So yeah, we've got what I'm doing for the Halloween collab. It's gonna be his transition into a dragon. So it starts off with this first image, and it's gonna be, oops, and it's gonna be him and part of the big celebration. And it goes into the second image. Essentially, he's been poisoned and he's receiving medical care, but he's essentially dying. so it's not going very well. And the third image of him kind of accepting his fate, but his staff choose a different fate for him, and essentially they decide to use this medicine from the Far East that transforms him into a troll, essentially, which is the idea. So we'll see how well that goes. But so I've worked on mostly this image. This was like the base image with all of the structures and everything. And then I've done a little bit of stuff with this. I want to get like a bit of a color vibe going on. So this is a bit of a sickly green one. And then this is kind of the sunset, him accepting his fate. So there's going to be 2 more images. So I'm going to be working on most of these today. But hopefully, yeah, hopefully I'll make a lot of progress with that. Did anyone see the 8-page chapter I posted? I haven't seen it yet. I haven't jumped in. I'm hoping I get the. I keep saying it. I'm sorry, Saidan. I know I keep saying it, but I'm definitely going to get on it and make sure I check it out as soon as possible. Oh yeah, but I finished the dragon fan art of Corvus. I'll upload it in a sec. Nice. Yeah, I saw you mentioned that in the general chat. It was looking really good last time, so I'm going to see how it finished up. Relatable, Frederick. Me too. It's better. It's easier speaking than having to type it, you guys. Okay, let's jump into this illustration. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a dragon over here. He's got no feathers. He's looking very sick. But he's got his friend next to him. So this is going to be a major character in the story. Is the human giant friend who's with him all the way, who kind of accepts his fate and he's not very happy about his friend dying, but he wants his friend to die peacefully, so he kind of accepts his fate with him. This is them sitting together, looking at the sunset for the last time. And this is one of his handlers, kind of being like, no, we don't accept your fate. You're our dragon god, and you are going to live forever. So he's making a deal with some shady doctors from the east, and I've based their kind of design off of like traditional noble like attire from Korea, because I was watching K-pop Demon Hunters this week. So I thought, it'd be a cool outfit to have as like a mysterious characters, and also it's a good example of Fae from a different country. So there's going to be a few, actually in this story there's going to be a couple of characters who are not from the Albion Isles, who are going to be mentioned in the story. Just very brief, well, not mentioned, these guys are going to be mentioned, but one of the other characters who's going to come up in the story will be some guys over here. So we've got some Ottoman guys just at the front here delivering gifts. These images are very like kind of low res. I'm going to work on them a little bit more before we finish. But it's a bunch of the guests from around the world who've come to bring the dragon some gifts. So a few examples of characters from alternative places, which should be pretty cool. There was a lot of nice animations made by kids. Nice. Sounds cool. Daniel, wait. Can you repeat the medicine that turns you into a troll part? Okay, so essentially the story is the dragon Corvus, who's from the city of York. He was really intelligent and really kind and like a really noble, intelligent leader. And so he essentially was just a great leader. So he had a lot of influence over the region and the coast and a lot of the trade lines and everything. So people would come and bring him gifts every year on a particular day of celebration, and they would kind of compete to bring him the best gift. And he would accept the best gift, and all the other gifts would kind of be put to the side. So this is everyone coming and kind of presenting their gifts to him. But during the celebration, they're not sure who, because there's lots of different factions here. You've got the Fae of Caledonia, You've got some of the noble cities. You've got a frog down here, very badly drawn. You've got the Church of the Deep. You've got some people from the Middle East, some characters. You've even got a badger character over here, magical. And someone presenting some pre-tech to him here. So all kind of competing. So anyway, he's poisoned by one of the gifts, which essentially makes him lose all of his fur, and it's killing him very quickly. So the doctors and everyone are trying to get him better, but the diagnosis is not going very well. Again, need to do a bit more detail on these images. They're a bit sketchy. But he's essentially dying. It gets to the point where he kind of accepts his fate. He's going to die. There's nothing he can do about it. So him and his friend are just kind of spending a few last moments together. But his servants do not accept that. This is their dragon god, and they want him to live forever. So they've arranged a deal with some shady merchants from the Far East to essentially help him live forever with some medicine that they have, which is essentially what turns him into the troll. So a bit of a spoiler there for the thing, but I think with the kind of dramatic video, I think it'll still be quite interesting to watch, hopefully. New lore, yeah. Was this the crow dragon from the last stream? Yes, exactly, Chris. So this is the same crow dragon, but I'm kind of going... I'm going the same direction with this, but just adding a few more details. So we're in the East. Korea. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Coffee Pixel. Thanks for jumping in, mate. So yeah, so they're going to be from Korea. So this Fae here is going to be a human. It's going to be a human from Korea, and then he's going to be accompanied by I think they're called Eastern cranes. Korean crane. So it's going to be a red-crowned crane. So a really specific crane that's in like Japan and Korea and China. So I think it's the same one that's from Kung Fu Panda as well. So a really specific animal there. I wanted to do one of the monkeys from Japan, but I really wanted to do a traditional Korean outfit, so I chose an animal that was in Korea as well. So I've chosen the Korean, the red-crowned crane. So yeah, I think it would be a cool one. That's the story so far, and then the next few slides are going to be him essentially being chained up to one of the pillars, and then the final one will be him fully transformed into a troll. So that's what we're hopefully going to be working on today a little bit. Let's go Fae variety. Yeah, exactly. A bit of a variety, so some animals from different places. So it should be pretty cool, I hope. Let's get a bit of colour on these guys. So yeah, I want them to be quite different, just in the sense of their outfits. So this guy who's like accepting the poison is going to be just wearing a monk's outfit, like the other guys in the first picture, like a kind of 17th century Catholic outfit, I guess. But these guys are going to be wearing more traditional like Korean stuff, like these guys have here. So I've done them in like quite a dark outfit, but I want them to be a bit mysterious, which is why. How did they get there? Why on earth did my message not show up? I'm not sure. That's strange. Apparently, yeah, it was saying Badger get the firing squad. What is here? Yeah. It's because I'm in the UK. There's a few new like censorship laws, so it might just be because you said firing squad. They might have just blocked it out. I didn't delete it, I promise. There's a few new laws in the UK with like adult related content, so probably firing squad was what set it off. So how did they get there? So that's not going to be revealed in the thing. It's going to be part of it, but essentially they will have, traveled by ship or gotten there across the. They've traveled there a long way. I'm gonna look a little bit more into the travel methods when I eventually get to working on the other nations. But I think for now, yeah, we're just gonna have to say they travelled there by ship. Probably the best way to say it. It's a bit of an orange beak. It's always these naughty birds who are up to no good. Very cheeky. Right, what kind of shoes is this guy wearing? Nice. Yeah, I managed to get the bot though. Thanks, Rondix, for messing up. I think I kicked out of Kick. I might stop streaming on Kick, to be honest, because it just seems to be a bunch of bots that are just spamming messages on there, but we'll see. Should have taken down the second message. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was in because it was in quotation marks. I'm not quite sure. That's strange. So Daniel, so out of pure desperation, his followers bought a foreign medicine in hopes it's healing his illness, but instead of healing him, it started to turn Corvus into a troll. Exactly. Yeah. So it was like kind of false promises that these salesmen have made them that essentially, yeah, they'll help him to survive this illness. But in the end, yeah, it has essentially just caused him to change into a monster instead. So yeah, it's not a very happy ending, to be honest. And a big part of it as well is like his relationship with his friend, who is like I said, the human giant guy, and he is going to be with him the whole way, and he's going to be just trying to helping with his medicine and just to recover. And then in these last moments, he's just there with him just to spend time with him. So he's got someone to spend time with. But yeah, it's his other staff who go behind his back and essentially force him to undergo this transformation. So the giant is not going to be very happy about that. And that's going to be essentially our final slide, the confrontation. But so yeah, I think it could be a cool little. Oops, it could be a cool little series of images. Oops, why is it doing that? Okay. That hopefully will, end up as a nice little story. But we'll see how it turns out. Yeah, and this is part of the collab for Halloween. So I'm really excited for it. The other guys, I'm sure, are working on their stuff. They've already done like a bunch of promotional posts, so I need to be getting on that as well. But yeah, I think it's going to be really cool collab. The rise and fall of a pseudo god creature is kind of sad. Yeah, that's what I was hoping to go for, and hopefully it comes out, in this story as well, as it's just this god who's actually like not a bad dragon. He's like a good one, and he treats his people well, and he's fun, and people admire him. And then in the end, he's kind of just he's assassinated essentially, but still he can't be at peace because his followers can't accept that. They have to have him live forever, and hopefully it'll be a bit of a tragic end for him, if the story is effective enough. So we'll try and smash out all 5 images today, and then I'll just be working on the details right up until the collab on Halloween, hopefully. So it should be pretty cool. Work on these shadows a little bit. Let's make sure they're clear enough. It's easy to see what's happening. Did you read the monologue by San and Sun? You can give some thoughts. I'm really sorry, Sadan. I do need to really get on it. I know it's definitely something I have on my list. I've got a big list of stuff to do, and it's read your book. I want to go through can't remember the other guy in our chat, has also got like some really nice stuff on his Patreon. Let me have a quick look. And I want to go through the stuff of Sigmasked. He's got some really cool stuff as well. So I'm definitely planning on going through your guys' stuff for sure. As soon as I get some time. I should have a bit more time towards the end of this year, I think, because I'm really trying to smash out as much art as I can. I'll probably be able to do it quite soon, actually, to be honest. I just need to get on it. These shadows need to be much longer. Okay. There we go. So let's have a look. Does Trollhug and Dragonhood necessarily involve an increase in body size, by the way? Yes. There you go. Sidon says trolls and dragons increase size. Yeah, so dragons are generally much bigger. There's some examples of human dragons who are not really big, but they're still pretty tall, like Boudica, who's like the leader of the Fae faction. And she's like 9 foot tall, or like 10 foot tall, I think. And so she's big. She's like Space Marine size. But she is not as big as like the owl dragon. So it really varies with dragons. However, the idea with trolls is they just keep getting bigger as long as they kind of can continue eating, and they don't get killed. They just keep getting bigger. So one thing that I want to start bringing in is a real indication that there's some big monsters in the sea, and that we haven't had the chance to look at yet. So I want to bring them out at some point and talk a bit more about them. We've talked about like the crab dragon, for example, but like there's dragons, and then there's the trolls in the sea, and they're like a completely different ball game. So that's something I definitely want to come to when I get the chance. Oops. Let's get rid of this. Let's do all my shadow on one layer. That'll be a bit easier to manage. Nice long shadows. Nice. I'm not very good at doing like accurate shadows. Maybe if I just morph that a little bit. Do it like that, right? Where's the light coming from? That'll do. That's fine. Nice. The collab is looking good. Thanks, Frondix. Yeah. There's a full paragraph on morning philosophy to be done on this story. Yeah, I was inspired actually by a story I read ages ago. I don't know, maybe it was in a video game. What was it? Do you know what it was? I think it was Dungeon Crawler Carl. I don't know if anyone's read that book. I don't know if you have. I won't do any spoilers if people aren't all the way through that. But there's an example, a little bit of that. That's, I guess, a little bit sad, but also just quite psychopathic. But I think it's maybe where I was inspired from. But I think I've seen it in other books as well. Is that I said, like that kind of ways people mourn or accept death, or not, I guess, in this case. Let's do a nice orange outline. There we go. And the light of the sun reflecting off his bald head. Let's go to you. Just a little bit on here. Here. We do a little bit of a glow there. That's quite good. Nice. Sorry, I'm missing all these messages. Frederick, I'll probably leave stream on background because I'm not feeling good right now, but I'm here. Oh, sorry to hear that, mate. Hopefully, feel a bit better. Probably going to lie down right now. I'm going to listen to stream from the bed. Well, I appreciate you being here, man. Focus on your recovery. You know, it's very nice to have you here, but I prefer you to be nice and healthy in general. But hope you feel better soon, mate. A real monkey paw situation, double-edged sword of surviving, but at what costs? Yeah, Chris, exactly. That's what I'm going for. We asked if we could, but maybe we should have asked if we should. Nice. I wanted to do a real like color. I'm not very good at color theory, so I wanted to do a bit more like color storytelling. So like with this one, you know, with it being a bit of a sunset image, and you know, like I said, it's kind of like the last moments together of this dragon and his like long friend, and I just wanted them to, you know, kind of be at peace. So it's got like a real orange vibe, and it's like the sun is setting type thing on this story, and then obviously there's gonna be like the blue at the bottom where it's like obviously getting bad. And this one we're going for like the sickly green color, and I've done like a sickly green hue over the whole thing as well. So that was like the whole vibe I was going for. And then obviously the first image is just very bright and colorful and lots of like a variety of colors. So I was hoping to, you know, just to do a bit of storytelling just with the vibe of the images. And the idea would be like, for example, with the video, I'm going to kind of, I think it's going to start, and it's going to, how is it? So it's going to start at the top, and it's going to scroll down past the dragon, and then zoom out. And so there's going to be storytelling with the way it's edited as well. So hopefully it'll look good. We'll see. I'm still working on getting good at storytelling through editing and some animation. So we'll see how that works out. Laser Crow, oh, good to have you in, mate. Thanks for jumping in. We're just working on the collab for the Halloween video. So speaking to the guys, this is like similar to the one we were talking about last week. I'm not going to do a full animation, but instead I'm going to do a series of 5 images in the same room over the course of like a year. Essentially, this dragon's downfall into becoming a troll. So we're just working on image number 3 here. But it's going well. It's going well. I want to do this layer. It's a completely different one. To keep it nice and separate. I'll catch up on these messages before I keep drawing. Oh, nice. Sidon, you caught him up. Basically, he's making an animation for a collaboration. It's about Core Dragon. Last stream gets poisoned, likely from people in a different continent. His followers and don't want him to die, so they turn him into a troll. Sigmast. God, I'm quite behind on these messages. Sorry. Yes, Sigmast is the other one I want to get into and read a bit more. I think he's pretty busy. Yes. Felix might actually do like Frederick. Actually, got a tiring day and caught cold because of course he did. Needs my sleeping hours, or else I'm going to literally explode tomorrow. Oh man, sorry to hear that. Guess I fall asleep at the end of the stream. Good night, everyone. Take care. Well, thanks for being here, Throndix. I appreciate it. Appreciate you jumping in. Also, what I posted is not my book. It's a world-building thingy. Interesting. You definitely write a lot of variety of things, Sidon. It's good. It's good to be able to get out there and you know, do as many different things as you can. Hey, best friend, I'm working on an acrylic art. Still working on color theory, but I think I got the gist of it. Yeah, I think it's super important. I think it's one area I've kind of failed in a bit. Is just not, you know, taking the fundamentals seriously enough. So I would say for anyone in the stream who's kind of getting into art, I can't recommend enough, you know, just really focusing on color theory if you can. I think it's so important, and I think it does make a big difference. I think if I had done it a lot with my art, it would be a lot better than the stage it's at now. So I think that's great. That's a really good idea. Laser Crow. I think it's always a good thing to jump into. The story I switched pushes the main character's morals to the limits. He has made the impossible choice every chapter. Just do Crow, classic Victorian actor or something. You calling me a sickly Victorian actor? We've got a few sick people in the chat today, so maybe it's fate. Alright, I might push the brightness on this because I want it to be like I said, a bit of a contrasting image. So we've got like a really bright foreground, like a nice foreground. And then like a horrible sorry, a bright background, and then like a foreground which is like what's going on over there. One thing I might change actually, just because it's a little bit confusing, is I think in the first image I've got like the pre-tech thing that's been given as a gift, and I don't want it to kind of make people think these two things are connected, because they're not. The first one was just a gift from someone, so I might change that. A bit of a reflection in this guy's eye. Go. It's looking quite good. Edge lighting. This is good for storytelling. A bit of orange edge lighting as well over here. No, maybe not. Don't like that. My page 8, my 8-page chapter, I posted. I go over why I think so. Anyway, it was late. Memory fails after 10 p.m., which makes my writing at 3 a.m. hard, to say the least. Me too. I always find if I'm up late doing too many crazy things, it's just makes it difficult to focus. Sorry, Riffy. I just saw your message. I've got multi-chat up on my screen. I need to be scrolling through it. There's like a sea of YouTube comments, but I didn't notice the Twitch comment amongst them. Riffy, the servants look cool. I randomly learned some bird anatomy today. Now I think I was subconsciously inspired by a raven on the last stream. Nice. Oh, good to inspire people with nature. I think that was one of my goals in life from an early age. So good. And how's everyone's projects going? Obviously, Sidon, you've got yours, your book. We've got Laser Crow. You're working on your acrylic art. What are you doing for your acrylic art, mate? Sidon, I just saw that. I learned when I make a Komodo dragon noise thing. That ruined my throat. Yeah, what's everyone working on at the moment? Any cool projects? It's always good to experiment, Chris. I have a tendency to stick with the same color palette, so I could always definitely benefit from a study on color theory, just to push myself and my art. Yeah, absolutely. I think I agree with that for sure. I think pushing yourself and trying a few different things. It's like with this project, this video, I'm trying to do some more architectural stuff. So I'm hoping that kind of comes across in the image, that I've made an effort with that, because I agree. I think it's such an important aspect of developing as an artist. It's just, you know, forcing yourself to expand and try new stuff, which I definitely don't do enough. Nice. I want it to be nice and bright, so it's like, okay, cool, beautiful orange sunset. What's going on here? Very suspicious. That's not so bright. Doesn't need to have such a bright chin. Just a little bit bright. Okay, nice. Right, like I said, I'm going to come back to all these images and do a few more details, but let's jump into image number 4, which is this one. We just need to delete all of the things we just drawn. And this one. And oh, too much. Just this one. This one. This one. In fact, no, I do want to keep the shadows, because this image is going to be pretty dark as well. So for this one, he's going to essentially, he's going to have fallen into a coma. He's going to have like fallen unconscious. He's kind of in his last stage of his life. What's that? Oh, he's in his last stage of his life, and so he's dying, and his servants are coming to take advantage of the situation to administer this medicine to him. What's that? Okay, I'm going to get rid of these shadows because actually I'll just redo all of the shadows. We'll keep those ones. Keep those ones. Yeah, so they come and administer him this medicine whilst he's unconscious, and then his giant friend is going to be obviously super against this, so he is going to come and try to essentially fight them back. So it's going to be very dark in the room. But there's going to be a central light just in the middle. In fact, I might do it as like a full moon, so it's like a blue light of like kind of almost like the transformation. In fact, I'll stop messing with the light first. I'll do the drawing first, and then we'll do the light after, because that's the most important part. What's going on here? Oh. So he's going to be unconscious, and they're going to be messing with him. Daniel, idea for introducing to the concept of a giant troll for the sea creature in the story. Crazy old man, could be a fair or not. That's the last survivor of the ship that got wrecked by a ginormous troll. But no one believes him and thinks he's just a madman whose ship suffered an accident during a bad storm and sunk. That's a cool idea. I like that. Yeah, it could be like, maybe he's like the old man in the pub who's telling the stories, like that drunk frog we drew on one of the other streams. And nobody believes his story until maybe they go out to sea and they are eaten by this same troll. And it could be like a giant sea snake, like in like Norse mythology or something. Oh, that's a cool idea. I like that. I have to come back to that for sure. So I want him to be like, he's kind of like put down, and it's like his servants don't care. They don't care about his comfort, so he's just kind of stuck there, and he's nude. He's got his little bird legs out. He's got no feathers. Got like a weak eye open. And they're applying this giant thing locked around his neck, essentially to keep him chained. Riffy, no problem at all. I'll be able to be on YouTube next week. I hope some technical issues. About projects, I've just finished a short guide to my world for players, like an introduction, how to make a character. It's only in Russian though. I think I'll translate the intro and post it when the map is ready. Yeah, definitely do. I'd love to learn more about your world. Are you doing it as like, is it like a TTRPG, Riffy? Are you doing like an RPG game or? Lazy Crow. 2 crows. I'm going to post it on Discord. Ah, nice. Chris making a beautiful pepperoni pizza. Ooh-wee. Don't get much better than pepperoni. Sorry, in fact, what I might do is they're kind of anticipating his size, so they're making like a really big collar, so that when because they've obviously been told that he's going to get bigger, maybe by like the medicine guys. So he's going to be wearing a really big collar, like this. Do same circle again. Oh damn it! Did it on the wrong one. So we do like that. Move that up to there. Duplicate that. There we go. And we'll do a little flatten bit there. To erase it, we'll do mask, non-destructive deletion, or whatever it's called. Get rid of that. There we go. Silent, I like to cook, which is why I made the... Silent, I switched projects to another book. I moved it from secondary novel to primary, as I'm writing 3 right now. I like to cook, which is why I made this short story about silent cooking and the political state of humanity in the universe. Nice. Poor Lude Crow, yeah. Nude Crow, poor guy. Daniel, instead of sea snake, I would personally go for some kind of... Cetacean, toothed whale like orcas or sperm whale. If you want to get creative, you can use a barbed whale, the one with the filter feeders. That could be cool, and then it could be like a shout out to Moby Dick or something. That could be cool. Yeah, I'll have a look. I'll do some concepts for this collab. Actually, I was kind of planning on doing a one with a sea creature, because the prompts I received were like they would have suited a squid really well. So I was thinking about doing like a giant squid, and I started drawing up the concepts for it, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I'll try something different. And then the idea of of Corvus kind of popped into my head. So I need some reference images of nudie chickens. I did have one before. There's one. Nice. Oh, poor chicken. So he's gonna have a little wing Look like a roasted chicken. Oh, poor guy. His leg kind of hanging off. So yeah, anyway, I had a kind of a plan to do a sea monster, but it just kind of fell to the wayside with this idea instead. And I'm quite happy with this idea now. I'm quite glad I went with it because it's turning out to be quite a cool image, but it looks a bit silly now. But I'm gonna do it like I think with the lighting it'll look a bit better, hopefully. So if we do his servants kind of working around him, so there's gonna be like a fight between his bestie, who's being kind of escorted out by a bunch of bird fae. So he's against this transformation. So another element to the tragedy of this story. Requires like a bunch of bird fae to move him. We'll do it really sketchy for now, and then the fae are going to be like quite disrespectful. They're going to be kind of walking on top of him, preparing him for this kind of injection into his back. Which is pretty cool. Oh, sorry, I'm sounding quite quiet. I had my head down on my iPad, so maybe that's why. Riffy, can you post it on the Discord channel with the link? Yes, yeah, I agree, definitely. Once you've translated and everything, it'd be good to read through it. Riffy, I also use extra characteristics, sanity, if you know that, and madness rules, so it's dark, crazy world. Nice. Sidon, I'll scream about it in general chat if you want when I finally post it. Riffy, it's D&D 5e. I'll translate the intro and post it when the map's ready. Oh yeah. Nice. Okay. Cool. Riffy, I don't know if you've had a look at Mothership, which is I think it's a relatively new system, so it's like 2021 or something, and it uses is it like fear or panic, like a panic generator, which I think is pretty cool, because I think Cthulhu uses like a sanity generator, but Mothership's like sanity panic system is really interesting. It's actually what I want to do my TTRPG project about, or in that kind of system, hopefully. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. But that's cool. Yeah, it would definitely be interesting to hear more about it. Daniel, make it a troll, put teeth on it, scales, maybe extra fins or something. Like blue whales eat, and I've seen blue whales eat, and it's really impressive and a bit scary. Yeah, that'd be a cool idea, like a mutated blue whale or something could be really interesting. Put some scaffolding, because even when you're chaining a dragon to a pillar, it's important to practice good safety measures, of course. That's right, they have scaffolding in the acceleration. Scaffolding is very important. I should really look at some reference images, but we'll just do this for now. We can figure it out afterwards. There we go. Let's do it really quick. And then, because I'm going to chain something to the top there. Chris, do they use the dragon god as some sort of puppet to back up their claim to power, like worshippers saying they speak for him? Good question. This story is kind of based in the past, and so they aren't kind of they aren't using him as a puppet, but they do the kind of religion in Jorvik worships Corvus, but as like a dead god. So everyone who worships him sees him as like this almost like a martyr, like a god who died, and he kind of died for their sins, and like a bit of a Jesus character. And he will kind of people love him, but they think he's dead. They don't know that the fact that the castle up on the hill in the middle of the city, he's still alive and he's chained in there and he's being kind of fed cows every week. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of included in the story, but yeah, he's still very much alive. Big chain, very big chain. The chain's gonna be kind of linked here, linked around. There we go. Cool. Arbiter. I might just go back and watch this stream to help learn how to draw. I struggle hard with perspective. My perspective is awful. Do you know what I did actually? Is I went into Unreal Engine and I made this in Unreal Engine. It's a bit different, but it's like the same kind of idea. And I wanted to see how I could make it look with like marble and stuff. And I just imported some of the images from the first one. So you can see it's very similar to the first image, but I used that to kind of build the structure because it really helped me visualize what I wanted to make. So you can see it's a little bit different just in terms of the scale. I made the one in Unreal Engine much bigger, but I think it still kind of gives off the same vibe of scale. I was even going to use this actually, but I kind of changed my mind afterwards. I kind of prefer just drawing. So all of this is hand drawn, including all the textures and everything, whereas it's just the middle bit that's drawn on this one. So I think even doing something like this, using a bit of 3D or real world examples can help you a bit with perspective, because I'm rubbish at perspective. So it's what I'm kind of challenging myself with a little bit now. But yeah, it was a bit of an experiment. Jim1 just posted a kaiju video with a massive bipedal goblin shark today. That would classify as a troll. Yes, I saw Monster Garden. I'd recommend. Oh, you already said that. Yeah, Monster Garden recommended him in his Discord. Yeah, I need to check that out. All the ones Monster Garden's been recommending, I've been trying to watch. As much. I mean, he recommended this channel as well, which was pretty cool. So, I think he does a good job of kind of sharing, other smaller channels, which is cool. Jim's got a bigger channel than me, so I haven't actually seen any of his content before, so I need to go have a good look through it. But it seems pretty cool. He is quite. Yeah, sorry. I think I was speaking into my iPad. I had my head down. So, Daniel, another option could be going with a fish troll, something like a shark or a barracuda or some deep sea fish to add the monster fact. I'll have a look. You know, with trying to practice stuff from the British Isles, I think like a sea monster could be a good way to expand into other regions, and I think it could be like a cool way to give an idea of other types of monsters. I just had a cool idea. If I want to make this look kind of dilapidated, what I could do, what a really simple thing I could do, would be to like have a bunch of stuff just like lying on the floor. Like for example, like this curtain maybe has just collapsed onto the floor. Just draw like a wooden door on this. You won't be able to see this very well, so I'll do it as like just very quick for now. And then maybe do that like that. Just do a quick image of wood or something on top. Like a wooden dock. And then sorry, I'm talking quietly again. So my idea is I could to show that they've kind of given up a bit and they're just desperately trying to hold on. I'm going to do a few things like this curtain has obviously like fallen down and nobody's gone to deal with it, because obviously it's like the last thing on their mind now that their liege dragon is dead. So we'll do that there. Steal this colour. This is just kind of fallen on the floor and nobody's dealing with it. Oops. Let's do it. Just do it here. In fact, we could do that, and then we could do it where, in fact, the same thing has happened with one of these flagpole things. Where are they? Yeah. Let's do it like this one's fallen down. Visual storytelling. In fact, we'll just get rid of this. Like it's just rolled onto its back and kind of splayed out a little bit. Obviously, remove this a little bit here, and maybe this one is kind of hanging off and it's like the banner's kind of come unrolled a little bit. And maybe this one up here is a bit torn, and like a bit torn and old. But nobody's really taken notice. Like it's gotten caught or something. It's getting like eaten by bugs. Need to edit these a little bit. Riffy, Mothership. No, I didn't hear it, but it sounds awesome. I'll check it out. Thank you. Yeah, it's cool. I have a thing to say about fundamentals of drawing. I've been drawing seriously for 4 years, and only now, I really understand how the fundamentals are important. I was like, circles? It's only circles. Of course I'm going to draw a circle. And it was the first and biggest mistake. Draw circles, guys. Yeah. You know, that's so true. It's funny. I was looking through an art magazine the other day. I just like popped into, in the UK we still have like magazine shops. So I had a quick look in like a magazine shop, and there was one with a some drawing advice from Karl Kopinski. If you don't know Karl Kopinski, he's like a really awesome. He was one of the original like Warhammer artists back in the day. So a lot of like Warhammer art, box covers, and even like a lot of stuff that's used today was done by him, Paul Dainton, and Adrian Smith. Anyway, so he did an interview, and they were asking him, and it's like, oh, do you know Karl Kopinski's top tips for drawing and like learning to draw? And I kid you not, it was like number 1, art fundamentals. It's like learn how to do art fundamentals, and it's like everybody skips them. Nobody wants to do them. They're very boring, but if you don't do them, you'll regret it because they're so useful and they're so essential that it's almost like an obligation. So yeah, I completely agree with Riffy. It's something I still need to really focus on, as you can see from some of this art here. So I think it's definitely something that's, you know, crazy important. Oops, let's not do that. So yes, I think that's great advice, Riffy. It's definitely something I should take myself. So duplicate this. Upside down. Oops. Let's turn one of them upside down. Put it down here. Oops. So we do it like that. Didn't think this one through, did I? Oh no, my brain doesn't work. How can I do this? Okay, right, let's figure this out. Like in my head, this was going to be super easy, and I was just going to flip it around. You know, let's just draw it. There you go. That's effective enough. I'm going to erase this a little bit. Okay, it's a bit of a reflection. Sorry, I'm catching up with these messages. I think his voice is soft. Oh, thank you. I don't know why he pulled into so much fantasy. I don't even consume fantasy media with any consistent yet. I find myself here. Sure, it has elements of my preferred genre. It's quite different. Gremlin's not bad. That's fine. Yeah, you know, I love sci-fi, and I like fantasy, but I've always loved sci-fi. You know, being like a proper Warhammer geek, I think it's always drawn me in. So I don't know why I've been so into it myself. So I'm with you, Zaidan. I think it's good to expand, and I've kind of cheated a little bit by implementing obviously like sci-fi into my fantasy, but I don't know, I feel like it's like a fun thing to do, and why not, you know, why not? Oops. Clipping mask there. Do want a clipping mask here. There we go. And then we will duplicate that. This one is going to be upside down. So this one should work. There we go. That's an easy one. Nice. Cool. No, you deal with the curtain later. That's fine. Nice. So the bird looks primed for cooking. I need to draw him in a way that looks kind of sad, and it makes it look like his followers don't care about his health now. They've gone beyond caring about him and taking care of him. So they're just like standing on his back and injecting this medicine into him, and attaching this chain to him. It's just the only thing that's important to them is keeping him alive. So I want it to look like that. He's like, there's no cushions underneath him anymore, like in the image where he's sick and he's just like naked, like thrown onto the side, which is why his buddy's so angry. So I'll once I've got him nice and pink, in fact maybe he'll look a bit better. But yeah, he's supposed to look naked and a bit afraid. I want it to be, I want him to look naked, but you know, like in a sad way, not in like a comical way. So I'm gonna need to figure that out, I think. Maybe if I do him like really diseased and gross, that'll work. But you're right, he does look like a bit like a primed chicken for sure. A prepped chicken. Let's see how he comes out. Might be good with some stuffing. We do like a really bright light, so it's like almost like an autopsy or just a really like unpleasant image. Nice. He's got quite a dark beak in all the other images. So we'll do it nice and dark. There we go. A bit too dark actually. Sorry, I will catch up with these images. With these comments. Chris, honestly, not a bad life. If people brought me hamburgers every day, I'd be fine with that. Yeah. Well, they're not bringing him. Not bringing him the. Well, actually, no. I think, you know, with the images I had before, they were bringing him like the best. They basically invented a species of giant cow that is basically only used to feed their master. So yeah, as a predator, which is what he becomes. Yeah, not the worst life in the world. In fact, I might even make him a little bit smaller, because I think in the other image, he's sick, he's a bit smaller. Yeah, he's too big there. Alright, I'll make him smaller. That's better. I'll just move this one as well. Let's do that again. There we go. Yeah, to make it look sad and not ridiculous. Oh gosh, did that in the wrong layer. Yeah, I think that's not like a bit. That chicken. I feel sorry for the chicken. I don't know where I got that. Obviously, like a meme image from, but I think it looks quite good. You would eat a crow? Ironic. I would eat a chicken, and that bald crow looks like a chicken. Makes me want to learn how to make KFC or something other nice way to make chicken. The YouTube majority ignores multi-chat. People say stuff and we ignore it. For the most part, I'm still third. Yeah, Riffy's still commenting. I think people are seeing Riffy's comments as well. Over on Twitch. I've been writing for 3 years. Misclicked 2. It's my first project. You made it to #1. Good job, mate. Am I still a novice? That's the question I asked myself. I think everyone feels a novice. It's that whole like imposter syndrome thing, right? It's almost impossible to not feel like a novice a lot of the time, but you know, I say you give yourself the label of master, you'll write like a master. That's the best way to think about it. These guys are a bit smaller. There we go. Hey Badger, Bud, maybe I missed this, but what affliction does the crow dragon have that made him lose his plumage? Great question, yeah. Oh, Riffy asked the same question, yeah. Where did all his feathers go? Essentially what happened was he had a party. Basically, he has a party every year, and people from around the world come to visit him. So there's people like emissaries from different places coming to visit him and to offer him gifts and try and win favor. They have a competition to see who could give him the best gift. He accepts all the gifts, and then after one day, he falls sick. So he gets a horrible disease that comes from one of the gifts. They don't know which one, but someone essentially has tried to assassinate him. So, oops, where's it gone? I'm missing an image here. That's fine. So he's dying. There's nothing they can do, so he accepts his fate, and essentially that's what makes him lose all of his hair, all of his plumage and everything. All of his head feathers have come out, and his followers kind of like pluck his feathers so they can clean him properly. So he has to have all his feathers taken out, and they can clean his skin. But essentially, he's dead until his followers kind of make a deal with some foreign, some Eastern medicine guys. Which means that they're going to essentially turn him into a troll. So that's why he's lost all of his feathers. Yeah. As Sadan's explained it, yeah, it does. The poison made his feathers fall out. Exactly right. Chris, can the bird dragons fly, or are they so big that they physically can't anymore? So I haven't really done any. I did one flying dragon image actually a while ago. How do I do this? So let me show you. I think it was in my dragons. Dragon video. So this is one of like a dragon who's been shot down by a dragon hunter with a big against essentially a bolt gun. Man, I love this image. I was really happy with this one when I did it. Anyway, so yes, the dragons can fly, but generally they don't. And you have because they have so many servants doing everything for them. A lot of them just kind of stick around doing nothing. And then when you have things like the troll hunters, and you also have giant animals that fly. So you have giant eagles as well. So I'm kind of ignoring gravity a little bit. So I would say yes, dragons could fly, but a lot of them don't. They choose not to because they don't really have to. And Triple Stav, yeah, you're in, mate. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Just drawing some dragons turning into trolls. As ridiculous as this image looks, it's very important for the story, as you can see. Riffy, yeah, magazine shop. Yeah, it's so true. You'll come right back to it anyway, no matter how genius you think you are. 100%. Yeah. Let's just destroy you. That's essentially it. He said, like, you know, you have to do it. And actually, he has a really great interview with Proco. So if you look up, if you go on YouTube and look up the Karl Kopinski Proco interview, it's awesome. And he's such like he's a really charismatic guy. But he says that he went to university and the university wasn't very good, and what he did was essentially just flip his perspective and go back and just start drawing fundamentals. And then he got a job with Games Workshop, and he just continued hammering away. And if you see his style now, it's awesome. It's just so realistic, and he does things like Monkey King, and he does all these like steampunk and airship images, and they're just super realistic. And it's just he really, really knows his fundamentals. So he's a very, very good artist to kind of take reference from for sure. Laser Crow, what type of poison did the afflicted massive bird? So it's not really mentioned. It just knows that he was poisoned, so no one really knows that, why. And it's going to be part of the intrigue. I'm hoping to do this as a module for the TTRPG, like the Tomb of the Dragon Troll or something like that, some dramatic name. So that's going to be part of it, I think, eventually. So I have to write it up, but that's going to be the main idea as to what the player is going to be trying to research, like what happens to the Dragon Troll. Sidan, remind me of your project where you're making your banner, or was that Throndix? I think that was Throndix who was making the banner. Chris, oh boy, look at that, the large cows we've engineered. I'm sure everyone will be benefit from them, and they aren't all going to disappear into that castle on the hill, exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much the vibe. A lot of people in town are like, oh wow, I wonder where they're sending all of these lovely, lovely, plump, juicy, delicious cows, and why don't we get to eat them? That's got to be some mystical poison to have that effect on a dragon. Yeah, well, do you know, the acceleration is kind of like a post-apocalyptic world, so there's a lot of weapons from before the acceleration that, you know, are probably present, or people perhaps have re-engineered or have redeveloped. So that's the main idea with it, is just there's some horrible things in the world that people are yet to discover. Yeah, I think it's not the nicest thing, but obviously it's something pretty horrible that has managed to affect a dragon. So these guys are obviously just injecting him, but they don't care, they just kind of stood on his back. I really need to work on this chicken. I think it looks the reference is killing me. Yeah, I know. It's very distracting. Poor chicken. Despite my best efforts, I don't know the story better than the bard, so I have no idea. Hawk sheep attack. That was a troll then. The giant eagle that was shot down was a dragon, but the giant one that's attacking the giant sheep is a giant bird, essentially. So just a normal eagle that's just a giant animal. I think in the troll hunter video I talked about how the troll hunters are tasked with doing more than just hunting trolls. They also have to deal with, you know, giant animals as well. So we'll give these guys a bit of a glow, so we know that they're using this medicine. We'll make it gory, so we know that it's not a nice application. Footprints, they've also been standing on him. YouTube won't flag this as horrible. Movement marks where he's like kind of been wriggling helplessly. Oh, poor guy. There you go. That's immediately more sad. I actually feel kind of sad. I feel sad drawing it, so I guess it'll make people feel sad, hopefully, when they're watching it. Do a bit of a bigger glow. Too big. Still too big. Let's get rid of all this down here. There you go. We'll make it nice and dark so it's a bit freaked out, but yeah, a bit freaky. I have a question. Sidan. Well, despite my I don't know. I think you know the story very well, Sidan. I appreciate you catching people up whenever people ask questions, so I appreciate that. Lazy Crow, I have a question. Does the owl dragon still instinctively hate crows? And does the crow, fae, and dragon also hate owls? I can't remember if it was you, Lazy Crow, or someone a while ago who asked exactly that question. So like Daniel says, yeah, that's a good question. Owls hunt crows, so it would be easy to see two dragons, one corvid, and another owl having beef. Yeah, so I think that's a great question. I'm sure someone asked me that a long time ago, but the idea is essentially that, yes, I think a lot of animals would maintain their like kind of hatred of other animals, or like, you know, their natural dislike of particular species. But I need to work out exactly how it would work in that regard. But that's a great question. I think that could be like a really cool thing to explore. Right, I need to do this shadow sensibly. If I take all of these images and I put them in a group, and then we're going to move them. Oops. All the way up here. Ah, what's happened? What did I do? Okay, I moved the background as well. And if I move this, what's that? Don't need that. I move this above the shadow. I don't know what that is. Then I don't need to apply the darkness there. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Essentially, I want a really bright light on him, so I need there to not be any shadow on him specifically. So I need to draw this neatly. If I select this one, select, and then I should be able to just delete the shadow from the top. Oh, nice. Good job, me. It works. Oh, it didn't work perfectly, but it worked okay. So it's just, I want there to be a really bright light just basically down on top of him. Again, like he's kind of been experimented on. And then we'll do like a heavy shadow underneath here. And then, yeah, so I want it to be like a real operation vibe. In fact, I might get a reference image for like a doctor's office or something and see if I can find like a really horrible one. Chris, did they give him a shiny chunk of radioactive uranium? Yeah, maybe something like that. To be honest, I haven't really thought it through. But I think something along those lines, like some kind of chemical weapon that, you know, is strong enough to take out a dragon effectively, and like to poison a dragon, because they would have like quite strong immune systems and they would be pretty tough to kill. So to like just straight up poison one would not be an easy feat. So it would have to be something pretty gnarly, like a chemical weapon of some sort. So yeah, maybe uranium or something along those lines. What we'll do is we'll do a backlit image onto these guys fighting, so it's like they're dragging him out of the room. Just need to figure out how to do like maybe a bright light coming down. I'll edit this. This doesn't look very good, but I'll edit this so it needs to look horrible, not like he's being raptured or something. Like that maybe. That's not bad. Cool. Sorry, I mostly shut up so Bard can catch up with all the comments. Thank you, appreciate that. You don't have to shut up. I appreciate you talking in the chat, Sider. Daniel Lopez, basically, troll, rapid, hyper-aggressive animal that continues to grow as long as it's alive, no self-preservation instincts. Giant, regular animal, but really freaking huge, even massive. Dragon, bigger than giants, extremely intelligent, able, a speech and with knowledge of old ages long lost. Perfect. Perfect description. Exactly right. I think, yeah, the vibe essentially is exactly that. It's like, you know, giant animals are just animals which are giant, which sounds like a silly thing to say, but it's essentially just, yeah, they are dangerous because they're animals which are much bigger now. Why does it keep doing that? Is it because I'm moving around that mask there? They're animals which are much bigger now, and therefore they are, you know, a giant ant would be a pretty scary thing, to be honest, as is a giant eagle, so. I might give him like a really rashy skin as well, so. We'll do our gold. Our shiny gold. Do it as a, I'll keep it in the same layer. Shiny pink as well. Oh, no, we don't want to cook this chicken yet. I found a nice brush actually. Procreate just did an update, and they've got some new brushes. Oh gosh, which one did I use? It was a really nice one. Was it this one? Damn it! I should have remembered it. It was a really nice one, which gave like a really sickly pink color. Not that one. Tanglefoot. No. Sorry, I'm going to mess with a couple of these to see which one I really liked. I'm sure it was one of these ones. Maybe, oh, maybe it was this one. I think it was this. Yeah, nice. So it's like a really horrible, sickly colour. Yeah, perfect. Okay, nice. So if I do this as like a red, I'm actually going to save this brush as well because I like it. So he's got welts and horrible bits all over him. In fact, if we do it as more of a pink, it'll be a bit more effective. I'll edit this so it looks a bit better, but blend it in a little bit. There you go, it's a bit more sickly. I'll change his leg because the leg looks a bit ridiculous, but what do you guys think? Does that look kind of, does it look does it look like the silly chicken, or does it look kind of sad? But like sad in a good way, like it's supposed to look sad. You can be brutally honest with me here because I need some good feedback as to what I'm doing. It'd be very helpful. So then, as far as I can tell, yes. Why you gotta get first now? Are the dino bones discovered? Not really. As I doubt that. No, much about the important part. Don't know about it. Did you just call Quetzes a dinosaur? The paleontology community would like to have a word with you. I imagine a Quetzes, the dinosaur in the acceleration. I don't know what a Quetzes is. Quetzal is like Quetzalcoatlus, like the Quetzalcoatlus, like the really big bird dude. These are cool animals. To answer your question, Saidan. So no, I would say the thing with them like the massive acceleration of growth of everything. I'm just gonna save this one because it's a nice sickly color. And you, brush, are coming with me to my library. Been kidnapped. Nice. We'll do change the name. Illness. Just so I remember. So no, to answer your question, I would say they wouldn't have discovered the dinosaur bones because yeah, there's so much growth and like constant regrowth and everything like that. It's just, you know, imagine the seafloor and the forest floor is just full of old trees and just a lot of horrible, horrible bits and bobs. So I think although they do archaeological digs of pre-tech sites, well, I guess maybe they would find stuff eventually. The biggest importance is just discovering pre-tech because pre-tech is so valuable. So the you know, perhaps they would find stuff along the way, but maybe they would just consider it to be like troll bones or something. But again, the acceleration is many years after the far future of our current time. So perhaps, you know, a lot of those bones and stuff will have already been discovered, or they would have not been so. Oh, my brain's not working. They wouldn't be so easy to find, or yeah, who knows. We'll have a bit of blood splatter. So yeah, the application of this medicine is not very nice. Right, let's draw his friend a little bit. Ah, Daniel, you're off. I must away. A friend needs support. I must help the homies. See you all on the server. Thanks for dropping in, mate. Appreciate being here. Always important to help the homies, so no worries at all. We'll catch you in the next one, but otherwise we'll see you in the server for sure. I'm eating silent and tired after homework, so yeah, I had to call Quetzal a dinosaur. That's fine. Quetzal's short form. I'm sure dinosaurs are very informal chaps, so it's not a problem. Right, let's have a look. I'll draw our friend here. He's a human giant, so obviously has to be held back by a bunch of dudes because he's a strong boy. Do this a lighter colour so you can actually see them. If I do one of these guys like falling on the floor, maybe it'll make it a bit easier to kind of see what's going on here. That's to be like a really dramatic scene of him fighting them off so that he can get to his friend. He's kind of fallen down. Ooh. Pose. So when I get really focused into these like little drawing modes, I stop talking a little bit, but we'll do a guy like running over. I don't need to go running over. It's good to like keep them separate. Okay, nice. Frederick, you're off as well, mate. I'm going to go to sleep. Just want to wish you all a good time. Thanks, mate. Appreciate you being here. I hope you feel better soon. Sleep well. Chicken looks violated. Laser Crow, you're from Mexico. No way. I spent a bit of time in Spain and went to Mexico for 2 months. So I really enjoyed Mexico, especially your food. Your food is amazing. But I spent time in Guadalajara, in the southwest on the Pacific coast, and then a lot of time in a little bit of time in Mexico City, and then a bunch of time in Yucatan. I didn't do Cancun, but I did everything else in Yucatan. So it was really awesome country. Really, really enjoyed it. I could speak Spanish at the time, so it was a bit easier, but no longer, unfortunately. Chris, a dragon that took over an ancient museum and where's the dinosaur's bones displayed there would be sick. That is an awesome idea. Yeah, like I was thinking that for like pretext stuff, or a bit like, do you know the seagull from The Little Mermaid, who like finds human artifacts and just guesses what they were for, like a character like that, where they find like pre-tech items and he has no idea what they're for, but he just like makes presumptions and tells everyone that this is what it is. And so yeah, I was thinking about something like that as a character. Could be quite cool. Right, let's draw a highlight on these guys. So these guys are going to have to a little bit more detail. Oops. I wanted to visit. Now I remember I asked you that question. I'm from Canada. As a streamer, do you say your internal monologue out loud? Kind of. Yeah, I kind of say. I guess I'm trying to say what my logic is when I'm drawing. I don't really know. I've just been kind of. So I'm very new to streaming, so I don't really have a way of doing it, I guess, but. We need to watch more streamers to find out how to do it correctly. Some long shadows. Oops. Go. These really long shadows stretching from the door. Okay, nice. I think that's immediately looking kind of creepier. Let's get rid of those shadows on those pillars. Where are they? Here they are. Oosh. Nice. I think that's quite good. It's like a real, it's like a change of scene, right? It's like like going from what it was before to kind of what it is now. It's supposed to be kind of creepy and horrible, but like a horror scene almost. Again, I'll do a bit more details on it afterwards, but just getting the kind of vibe I think is quite important. So let's have a look what we got so far. Okay, Glorious Dragon, big party, everybody's having fun. Dude's sick, poisoned, nobody knows why, trying to help him recover. Dude's dying, really sad, sad music. Oh, what's this? An alternative solution? Creepy music. Okay, horrible, freaky music. Zoom in on his friend fighting back. Zoom out on the dilapidated state of the temple. Boosh. Bish bash bosh. And then finally, we're going to come to our last image, which will of course be big scary dragon. So we'll steal this one. We'll work on that one a little bit. Scuttle from The Little Mermaid is your strange one of the sea dragon in the world. They try to pretend he doesn't exist. Scuttle, that was his name. Yeah, exactly. So someone like that who kind of presumes how things go. Welcome back, sir. I've always been here. Third crown. Oh dear, got to rub it in. I don't know how you guys are. I don't know how the XP system works on it, but again, I like this. I like this competition you guys are having. Okay, right. Final image. So the way this one's going to work is much darker. Let's get rid of all of this first. Goodbye. 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 And then goodbye. Goodbye. And then a chain as well. We'll get rid of the tower. In fact, what we'll do is we're just going to knock the tower down. As if they just kind of left it in a hurry. Actually, no, maybe something like that. Again, we'll do that as a bit of a placeholder for now. In fact, if we do it... maybe it's collapsed a little bit as well. Chain, what to do is kind of, we'll do it as taut, so it's nice. Chain there, get rid of that, get rid of that one. I want to do like bones and stuff on the floor. Let's do nice big black shadow. This one's gonna be a very dark image, and of course we're gonna have our spooky boy up front. So let's start with that. So I want this to be like a very inspired by the original image I did. So it's going to be very inspired by this one. So this dragon here. When I was working on it for the animation. So we're going to use this as a reference for our spooky boy. So, bigger than that, don't we? going to be able to see the chain, so I'm going to do him so he's kind of stretched across. The idea is that his friend is going to come into the room to essentially try to kill him. He's going to come in. The giant guy is going to be there with his sword, in like a desperate attempt to kill the dragon. So it's going to be like a bit of a different vibe for sure. Big wing stretched down to the floor. A bit like Quetzalcoatlus, like you guys were saying, maybe. I guess not as long a neck, but. Sorry, I keep hitting my microphone. Move it over here. I won't bash it every time I move my Apple Pencil. Tiger Beetle. How is my quality writing to those who've seen it? I've heard good things. I think some of the guys in there have, like Man in the Red Cape and a few others have read your stuff. So I think yours seems to have had the most viewership on it so far. So definitely, obviously you're working hard on it, and I think people are definitely reading it. Maybe you can give him big feathers. He's got his big beautiful wings back. This image has got to be behind. It's got to be behind this one. Yeah, nice. So if we paint him, so we've got an idea of how big he is. This is kind of cool. What do you guys think? I think it's working out quite well. In terms of, using the same background as part of like a story. I don't think I'll do this kind of image again, where it's like all the same background. But I think it's like a cool, it's like an alternative way to kind of do like a story arc like this, at least for like my own content. Right, we don't really need that actually, so we can get rid of that. This guy here needs to be behind this guy. That'll work out. Yeah, nice. And this guy needs to be down here as well. Okay. His feathers grow back after the troll medicine. Yes. And they're like not like the beautiful purple anymore. They're going to be like dark and horrible. Like maybe like a dark blue or it's like very chill music in the background whilst we draw this like horrible monster. See, they kind of like predicted the size he would grow to. I guess the medicine guys maybe told them that he would just infinitely grow, and so this collar they've attached to him, I think, kind of represents that like size that he's grown from. In fact, I'll do that chain separately. Nice. He grew back bigger and stronger. He did indeed. Contrary to popular belief, no one has ever read it. They gave it thumbs up. Really? Are you sure? I think, yeah, because it's got loads of emotes and stuff on it. We don't have any like downloads or anything of it so far or something. The Great Kinsbane. Will the room be bathed in a natural blue light? Yes, that's a good idea. So we've got like, because we're going for like the color theory type of thing, right? So I think that would be like a cool way to display it. Maybe give him like a big horrible claw. I need like a bird. Use my crow feet. Do a reference image for crow feet. There you go. Jackdaw foot, that'll do. A bit blurred. There you go. Oh, nice. Those are big creepy feet. Big dinosaur feet. Oh yeah, he's got the backwards knees. So it's like his toes are like super long. A bit too long. I want to have clown feet. I'll just add the red. Maybe if we do it, so his other foot is kind of stretching across here. Need to have like a cool pose, like a dinosaur. Move his leg a little bit. How can I do it? Okay, a bit like that. It's like with the bent toes. That kind of works. Back to getting a bit like velociraptor feet or something. We need a hold taker from the Dragon Slayer Codex. Hold taker. Hold taker. I've been through all of Soilese stuff like a while ago. Oh, there's ones like Latch On. Those are the ones that latch on and like spew like really hot fire into something. Is that Hold Taker? I can't remember. God, I love Soilese stuff. I'm so jealous of his. It's such an awesome idea, and he's obviously very talented and he's a smart guy because he kind of approaches it from like a biological perspective. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of his like of his brain and his and obviously he's worked very hard to get where he is, but still jealous. There we go. That's looking quite creepy. Could really do something on the left side of the image as well. We'll finish this kind of drawing bit and then we'll come back to that. Got these kind of, it's like armored scales, aren't they? There we go. Nice. I'm sure, or at least they just did not tell me. I thought of the Great Kingsbane because one picture of the golden dragon skull on auction. I just watched the Great Kingsbane last week. I love that one. And yeah, the golden dragon skull for the guy with the smiths like poured molten gold on his head or something. That's a cool one because again, it's like that biological principle. It's like, okay, these humans are nothing to me. I don't need them. Oh wait, they've eaten everything. Okay, well now I need to eat them. He's a really good storyteller for sure. Cool. Right, let's make this nice and bright. Oop, why is there red there? Oops. Some white. There we go. Okay, cool. Big scary monster. Let's make him like a sickly blue color. Oopsie. It's a good way to cheat this. It's just to there we go. And like a nice sickly white beak. Very pale skin. So he's become almost like a rook. He's got his black eyes of a troll. Pretty creepy. Bronze-headed Kingsbane. Bronze-headed Kingsbane? Was it bronze they poured on his head or gold? I can't remember. Chris, are those that turn to trolls still aware on some level what's happening? Like trapped inside with no control? So yes, essentially, you know, it kind of hints at it in the video about trolls with like the human troll at the end who like wants to go back home to where he was before. So they're kind of naturally, you know, perhaps they remember some things, but at the same time, it's like moments of lucidity, in like essentially a sea of not much. So it's essentially they are kind of lucid, but for the most part, they're just trolls. So perhaps a dragon troll, because there aren't many of them, would be exceptional because their minds work differently. So maybe he would have like stronger moments of lucidity. But for the most part, yeah, they're kind of, once they turn into a troll, you're kind of screwed. Rusty collar there. We'll give him kind of like pale feet as well. His pale feet are creepy. We'll do like a sheen over the top of him, but we'll draw. Let's draw his friend coming in as well. Why is that not working? Oh yeah, this is on. It's hidden. Silly me. I don't forget lore. I watched this video years ago and still remember every creature. I have a pretty good memory when writing required that of me. Years from the Red Racer to Tassel Thundermaw. I don't remember most of their names or their traits. It was bronze, 75% sure. I'm the only one yapping now. You got a good memory, man. I think it's cool. It's good to... A very useful thing. I think especially as a writer, you know, it must be useful to remember a lot of these things you've read from years before. So I think it's cool. It must be an advantage definitely with writing. Okay, we need to do more like an acknowledgement that he knows he's going to get killed by this guy, but he can't let his friend live forever trapped in the body of a horrible troll. So he's come here to kill or be killed, or both perhaps. Oops, why is that not working? It's because this thing's in the way. Get rid of that. What do you guys think? That's looking pretty cool, right? I think. Bit of a horrible monster. And again, in terms of like the saga, I think it'll be like a good way to, kind of end the saga. So maybe like a blue light over the top. I think will look pretty cool. Bit of a ring light, rim light. I do like it's like a blue color over the top. And right, I need your come back to you in a bit, Crow. Oops. Look at that. That's a nice one. So do that, then make the background a bit darker. Could be cool. Again, so it's almost like just the moonlight reflecting into the room now, like all the other lights have disappeared. And I want to do sort of like a bunch of bones on the floor as well. I think it could be a cool adjustment. Right, if we just have a quick look. So what time is it? Oh gosh, it's almost time for bed. Okay, I think our saga is pretty much complete. I thought writing would not need math, I was wrong. Because you've done like charts and stuff for your story, haven't you? Do some math homework at the moment. Very important. So kind of like dementia or something, or some other memory deteriorating process. I'd assume after being a troll for a while, you'd eventually forget everything. Makes sense why the human giant would want to. Yeah, I think that's a really great way to describe it, Chris. Like dementia. So it's like a slow, like they slowly lose more and more as they become trolls. So maybe at the start, it's like it becomes. It's like not such a big change, and then eventually, yeah, it's like a total change entirely. Great description, Chris. I think that's a really nice way to put it. So that's way more important than what I should be doing, but procrastinating. Chris, looks like a Dark Souls boss fight. Nice. Okay. I love like images of like the Dark Souls bosses. I really want to get a. When I was in Japan recently, I got a bunch of concept art books because they're really cheap in Japan. So this is for anyone who goes there. Go buy an empty suitcase when you're there, and they have a bunch of bookshops with a lot of dodgy material in there. But they also have like shelves and shelves of concept art books from a lot of Japanese studios, but loads of different ones. So I ended up getting Apex Legends. I got. I'm just looking at my shelf now. What was the other one? Apex Legends, Ghost of Tsushima, and Wulong as well. So I got 3 like books, and they're awesome. Even the Apex Legends book I think is really cool. Anyway, they had some really nice Dark Souls books in there, but they were super expensive, which is quite surprising. So I think the art, I would love to get one of them, just have a look through some of the art stuff they have on there. But anyway, I also remember all of your videos and their context the same way I remember all weapons in Modern Warfare 3, all strategies and weapons in Helldivers 2, and everything in my book. If a question is asked, I can answer. That's cool, man. That's like a skill, having that kind of memory, like an eidetic memory for, like a perfect memory for like details and stuff. That's cool, man. It's quite late. Yeah, it's like dementia from my setting. I miss Titanfall 2. I miss Titanfall 2 as well. That was like a very fun game. The servers are still up. Okay, let's have a quick rundown of what we got through, and then we'll finish up. So, beautiful scene, big party, everybody's happy, yearly party, it's great. Poisoned. Someone's tried to assassinate him. It's all bad. Oh dear. What happened? Doctor says there's no saving him. You know, it's time to say your goodbyes. We'll make him as comfortable as possible. Okay, last moments. Sunset together. This is the end. You know, goodbye, old friends. We'll see each other on the other side, type thing. Oh wait, servants are up to no good. What's going on in here? What are you doing? Oh no, you know, my friend. Oh god, he still looks like a chicken. Okay, I'll come back to that image because that definitely needs to be corrected because that's more comical than it should be. Okay, but yeah. What are you doing to my friend? You know, leave him alone. Okay, get him out of here. Blah blah blah. And then the final return to see his friend and how he has changed. Let's change the size on. In fact, I'll quickly do that now. He's too big there. Where is he? There. What's all the way over there? Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, I think this worked out pretty cool. In fact, we can do that as like a bright light as well. Friend, come to end his friend's suffering. Nice. Cool. So obviously I'm going to do a bit more work on these images, and we'll see, you know, how they come together. Hopefully in a different sense. Riffy. Next stop is Japan when I become rich. Yeah, I remember you saying you were looking for that kind of stuff. So I would honestly say, Riffy, it's an awesome place to go. I think I had to look, the Apex Legends book, for example, the concept art book, which is really, really nice. it's like 40 quid or 50 quid or something, £50. And I think in Japan it was like £8. Like not even like a small difference. It was like a really big difference in price. I was going to get all of the what's it called, Akira comics, but they were too thick. I had no room left in my suitcase. I couldn't really justify it, so I would have bought a lot more stuff there. But they had shelves and shelves of stuff, and I'm not really into Gundam, but they had these huge books of just like car mechanic parts, but just for Gundam mechs, and Evangelicon or whatever it's called as well, the same kind of thing. It's awesome. It's so cool. I think you'd really love it, Rifi, honestly. My memory's far from perfect, just better than most. That's cool. I like I said, and I think that's a real advantage again, especially because you'll be able to retain a lot of information, I guess, you could share as part of your book. Chris, I've got a problem with wanting to collect all the art books, but I don't have enough shelf room, and they can definitely be pricey. Yeah, absolutely. I think that is a problem. I've got, like, my shelf is quite compact. I think I shared an image a while ago of what my shelf looks like, but yeah, I think it's one of the problems is the books are really thick as well and very heavy. So if you don't have a very strong shelf, it could fall down for sure. But yeah, in England they're pretty expensive. I normally find them in charity shops, so like secondhand bookstores or like thrift shops. But I think the best place to find them is like online. Sometimes you can get them for like a discount. But yeah, it can be pretty tricky finding some good ones. Chris, I love the implications that they know that he's going to get huge with that collar, but are willing to accept the consequences of keeping him alive as a monster. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was kind of hoping for with the collar. Is they've just kind of accepted it. He's going to be there for a long time. You know, they don't want him to die and be gone. So they're just accepting that. They're just going to keep him there. When I write something, I take people I know in real life and increase their traits, make them more pronounced. Sometimes it saddens me how details are lost on the reader in my book. Yeah, I think that's an inevitability. I think that's the same with a lot of art, right? Like perhaps if people write stuff in a particular way, or it's like with a lot of music where there's like a hidden meaning behind it, but perhaps it's lost on the listener who just enjoys it because it's a good like club track or something. But I think it's quite inevitable with art. But it's still, I think when you add that in there, it adds layers to it, even if people don't notice it. So it's definitely worth adding in. And Riffy, is it a particular place or is it just a general case in the whole of Japan? So, I went to Osaka and they've got all of these bookstores. There's a really famous bookstore. Let me look for it. Bookstore, comics, video games, Japan. It is called... So Book Off, I think, was the big one. Okay, so it's called Book Off is the really big one, and you'll find a bunch of stuff in there. But the really good one is Mandarake. So it's I'll share the name. So just as a warning, Riffy, when you go in there, there's a lot of stuff. So it's like, okay, they have they've got like a J-pop idol costumes, and they've got kind of like Funko Pop figures and Gundam and Warhammer and comic books and everything. So there's loads and loads of stuff in there. And in Osaka, you can go underground, and there's like an underground area that's a bit dark and dingy. And I will just warn you, there's rows and rows of stuff, of adult stuff, of course. So I would say you can walk past that. And then the one that was in Osaka, right at the end of the shelves, was, I'm not kidding you, like 10,000 books. It was like a 20-30 meter long row of just concept art books, and loads of like Studio Ghibli and loads of Gundam and loads of like Japanese shows that I didn't know, or video games that I didn't know. But then loads of like Western shows, Western video games, and from different producers. It's awesome. It's so cool. And some of them were really expensive, like £100 or something. I think they're like collector's editions. And one of the problems in Japan as well is with every book, they seal it in plastic. So you can't have a look inside and you can't see what it's like. You have to just buy it and maybe it's good. So it's a bit of a risk, I would say. You might, for example, I don't really like the Wulong book. It's a lot about like Chinese mythology, and the way they did it is they just did like, they didn't do the concept art. They did like a character and a monster, and then the scene. So it's not really a concept art book, I don't think. But the Apex Legend one, I was really surprised. I really liked. They did some of the character concepts and the original ideas for some of the different legends. And the book, the Ghost of Tsushima one, is incredible. It's such a beautiful book. So I'll write it in. Oh, you won't be able to see it on the. Oh, you should be able to see it on the YouTube comments. I'll write it in here. So it's Mandarake is how it's written. You'll see it pop up. And my bad pronunciation there. So it's awesome. It's such a good book. It's such a good store. But especially if you're a geek, I spent about 3 hours in there. My wife had to come find me because she was with my daughter, so she had to come and drag me out. I would have spent a lot of money if I'd stayed in there. But yeah. Chris, they keep the best stuff way in the back. Yeah, I think it was funny because you would go through layers, and as the further you got into the back, it's like that. I don't know, that bubblegum episode of Dexter's Lab where he goes all the way to the back of the bus. It's a bit like that, where there's like it becomes less and less populous as you go back. There's less and less people, and all the way in the back, there was no one in the concept aisle section except me. There was a lot of people in the adult section, I would say, and that was like the darkest corner. It was a bit strange. But it was like really, really cool to go through all of that stuff. But again, you can't read. It's like not even in the libraries, they kind of like cover these books, so you can't go through them until you've rented them out. But yeah, gambling and artwork, and they love gambling in Japan, even though it's very illegal. There's a lot of shops. They have literal loot box stores where you go in and it's a small shop, and they have 3 boxes, and you can look on the shelf, and there's 50 boxes on the shelf. And maybe one of those boxes has a ticket to let you buy a PS5, for example. So they have literal loot box shops in Osaka, which was quite funny. I've been warned, but it wouldn't stop me from screaming when I got there in Japan. Yeah, honestly, when I went in there, I was so excited because I look for these in the UK, and there's just, you can get them in comic book stores, but they're so expensive. And here it was like crazy cheap. I remember double checking the exchange rate and be like, what? I think the Apex Legend book is huge. It's like 200 pages or 300 pages, and it was like £7 or something. As far as I understand, you need to break through the K-pop idol stuff. Yeah. Yes. So it's funny. I don't know a lot about that world, but they had like full costumes and wigs and everything, and there was loads of people in there looking through it. I guess it's super popular in Japan, but. Right, I am going to shoot off. My book is a few pages under 200. Oh, nice. You're getting quite far. I'm going to shoot off, guys, because it's time for bed. But I really appreciate all you guys being here with me and giving me some feedback for this art as well. It's been a really productive one, actually. I'm surprised how much we got done. So, this is going to be pretty much the whole collab. It's these 5 images and then some edited video and music and sound effects and things like that. So hopefully it's going to look pretty cool. So I appreciate your guys' feedback on this stuff. But yes, hopefully it's going to go well. I think we'll probably be working on it next Wednesday. Yes, it'll maybe be more if I've done all the editing. I'll try and do something else next week. I appreciate you guys being here. It's really good to have you here and to help me work on this. And if I don't see you next Wednesday, I'll definitely see you in the Discord, I guess. But thanks for being here. Thanks, Saidan, Chris, Riffy. Appreciate you guys. And I will definitely see you in the next one. Thanks for helping me survive my workday. It was a joy to watch the streams. I appreciate you being here. Dwarf Cayman are cool. How they turn out. The dwarf Cayman? Which dwarf Cayman? Oh, is that part of your book? I see. So I don't know. Right. I'll definitely have to check it out. Lazy Crow, thanks for being here. Have a good one, guys. And yes, I will see you all in the Discord or next week. Sleep well, or have a good morning, or good lunch, or good dinner, all those kind of things. African dwarf caiman are real animals. Oh, I see like little like crocodile guys. Right. I'll have to check them out. Maybe I could introduce them as like a traveling fae salesman or something. Right. Thanks, guys. All the best, and I will see you next time. Good night.